Look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that, like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts.
Joe Rogan openly questioned Floyd Mayweather's real estate claims during the discussion. He made it clear that the reported figures did not seem believable and paused the conversation to explain that from his point of view, the numbers simply did not add up or appear realistic.
One of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches, this watch goes for $2 million, and they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
And that Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment. His private jet fuel, he's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets, and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan from a individual, from a billionaire, that had a 9% interest on the loan.
Joe Rogan also challenged the bigger story surrounding Floyd Mayweather's wealth. He questioned the claims that Floyd owned many valuable properties and explained that making impressive statements is very different from having confirmed ownership and verified assets to support those claims.
Money to the IRS. How much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much money, there's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats.
The discussion became more serious because Floyd Mayweather built the Money Mayweather image around endless wealth, huge amounts of cash luxury watches, and a powerful business empire that looked impossible to question. However, several reports circulating in financial circles suggested that the real situation might be much more complicated than it first appeared.
Floyd Mayweather is made, and because he's the best in the history of pay-per-view at making sure that the money ends up in his pocket. He is or has been a businessman as an athlete that almost doesn't have a peer because he owns all his own stuff as an independent. Your spending has to be so fiscally irresponsible to lose the amount of money that Floyd Mayweather has lost that it is almost beyond anything that is reason. It's not merely fiscal insanity. It's something that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, and another sign of him maybe in financial trouble is, as of February 2026, Floyd Mayweather has initiated a massive $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and former executive Steven Espinoza. So he's trying to get some bread right now.
The estimate is that he made over $1.2 billion over the course of his career in just earnings.
Reports from Business Insider claimed that 2 of Floyd Mayweather's commercial properties had reportedly entered foreclosure. There were also allegations that a Las Vegas strip club connected to him faced the risk of seizure because of unpaid property taxes. On top of that, lawsuits involving expensive watches and jewelry purchases reportedly created even more financial pressure, although Floyd denied those accusations. As a result, the conversation slowly shifted away from luxury and success toward growing questions about his financial situation.
Things that they said in this article were insane. That Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment, his private jet fuel. He's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million.
The report also stated that 2 condos at Trump International Hotel Las Vegas were reportedly seized over unpaid taxes before later being returned after the payments were made. It also claimed that a $54 million loan connected to Mayweather allegedly used his home's private jet and businesses as collateral. Whether those reports were accurate or misunderstood, the difference between Floyd Mayweather's public image and the financial claims continued to fuel major debate. Joe Rogan had already raised doubts about Floyd's financial empire, but then Chael Sonnen joined the discussion with an even stronger opinion. He openly questioned why people were acting shocked by the idea that Floyd could be broke, saying the topic should not surprise anyone.
And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say he can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing channel, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course
he turned the discussion back toward the audience by asking why it would seem strange for a boxer to keep fighting to earn money when ordinary people also work because they need income. His response mixed straightforward honesty with sharp humor before challenging the long-accepted stories about massive boxing paydays. He argued that many reports about billion-dollar earnings and huge pay-per-view numbers often come from promotional claims instead of officially verified financial records. He also said that according to him, the companies responsible for pay-per-view sales have never publicly confirmed many of those massive figures. That statement created even more doubt about years of excitement surrounding boxing revenue claims.
Addict. He's got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
He also questioned the wider financial claims connected to Floyd Mayweather by asking who actually confirmed or paid the reported $1 billion Floyd was said to have earned. In doing so, he was not only criticizing Floyd, but also challenging the way financial success is often presented across the entire sports industry. He then moved to the confusion surrounding fight contracts and promotional agreements, explaining that Floyd announcing several fights around the same time as a possible Tyson matchup would have created major problems for promoters. In boxing, timing and exclusivity are extremely important and can easily affect negotiations. He also pointed out the irony that Floyd had previously accused Showtime of questionable business practices, adding another contradiction to the ongoing debate.
The numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be...
Critics also point to Floyd Mayweather's promotional business dealings, including the situation surrounding his fight with Logan Paul, arguing that similar confusion and disagreements continue to appear across different parts of the boxing industry. As a result, the entire situation begins to look like a repeating cycle of accusations where every side blames the other for the problems. At the same time, one clear fact remains. While people continue questioning Floyd's finances, reported earnings, contract details, and exhibition fights, his influence on the sport has never disappeared. Whenever Mayweather's name appears on a fight poster, it still captures the attention of the entire combat sports world.
Owes Logan Paul $1.3 million. No, he doesn't. Just to clear that up, no, he doesn't. Will Logan ever get the money? I think Floyd's broke. Floyd does not owe Logan $1.3 million. Floyd's promotion owes Logan $1.3 million. And no.
Chael Sonnen had already increased the discussion about whether Floyd might be broke, but once Jason Whitlock and the rest of the panel joined the conversation, it turned into a detailed financial review of boxing's biggest stars. The discussion quickly moved beyond sports talk and started sounding more like a serious investigation. Whitlock supported Shannon Sharpe's and OC's opinion that Floyd Mayweather would only come out of retirement for a massive payday. As soon as names like Saul Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, and Terence Crawford were mentioned, the focus immediately shifted to the business side of boxing. Sharpe suggested those were the only fights capable of bringing Floyd enough money to make a return worthwhile, presenting them as realistic blockbuster matchups. Whitlock then made a Rocky comparison by asking why fighters decide to return to the ring, changing the discussion into a broader conversation about motivation, legacy, and competition.
Sharpe and Ocho Cinco suggested on their podcast that Floyd Mayweather is talking about coming back, unretiring.
He is.
Because he's broke.
Yeah.
Let's play the clip here of Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco.
There are only 3 fights that Floyd can have.
Because Floyd built his entire identity around the belief that wealth represents success, even changing his name from Pretty Boy to Money, the discussion became even more intense. Whitlock pointed out the irony behind that image, saying that when your reputation is built on riches and luxury, even a small rumor about financial problems can quickly become a major media story. Dre then offered a more practical opinion, arguing that the real issue is not how much Floyd Mayweather has earned, but what is actually known about his finances, including cash flow, investments, debts, taxes, and expensive living costs. In other words, he focused on the complete financial picture behind the glamorous social media image. The panel also discussed gambling losses, tax responsibilities, and luxury spending, making Floyd's career appear less like a simple success story and more like a complicated financial puzzle. Even so, one major contradiction remained. While some questioned why a fighter approaching 50 would return to boxing, others admitted that if Floyd Mayweather officially announced a fight against Saul Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, or Terence Crawford, everyone debating the issue would still be watching when the opening bell rang.